Hello everybody, I'm Mike the Man. Welcome to my channel and thank you all for the many comments I have received, especially on my post, because a couple of months ago I already used Melissa Nicole Proudfoot Svensson's statement as a cover for one of my videos. I didn't talk about it a lot, but I mentioned it a few times. And now I was in Sweetie Pie Low's live chat, which I like, by the way. I like the fact that there, and as in my chat, people are interested in the case. They don't waste a lot of time on the obsessions with that PR. The PI. By the way, I need to say this again. Just because somebody says they're Team Sebastian, if you get nothing out of it and still watch and all you see is discussions about the PI, don't listen to people who say, well, he inserts himself into cases and messes everything up. Guess what the result of that obsession is? Now that PI is all over television, not only about the case of Sebastian, they keep calling on him as an expert. Because he's the hero in the eyes of so many who, after 1 year, found a tape that, of course, has been in the possession of law enforcement the whole time. So, I'm not sure, I don't understand people, and I'm actually happy about that part. That, is it just that they're bored? Is it just that their minds are, I don't know. But all they talk about is that PI, what he's doing. And what do they say? What was the saying again? Great minds think about ideas. Good minds think about things. And others think about people. I think about people when it's important. That PI is not important to me. The only thing that can kill the darkness is light. And unless you go in there and participate, and you go into a life where the YouTubers invite each other, it's a circle jerk, that's what it is. To keep people watching, and nothing comes out of it. Once in a while something comes out of it, because if it does, the people that I know will eventually post it on Twitter, on X. And that's what I'm very happy about. I don't need to sift through any garbage. However, in that Sweetie Pie Low chat and comment section, I've learned quite a bit about what is known, what hasn't been verified, what could be, what is and what isn't. So, when you deal with true crime, you know, somebody, Mr. E or somebody like that, whom I haven't listened to yet, made a comment like, how do you explain to people that you're interested in murder? I'm not interested in murder. I'm interested in solving crimes. I'm also interested in how things can escalate, which is why in the last video I have explored how maybe a connection to a mother can impact a husband or a boyfriend. And the Brian Laundrie case, of course, screams all that. What if Brian Laundrie's mother, Roberta, had actually liked Gabby? What if she had told him, you need to be more calm, you cannot be that jealous, you need to give her space, you need to let her live her dream, fulfill her dream? No. She hated Gabby. She didn't want her around. So when a boy hears from his mother all that negative stuff about his girlfriend, what do you think? What kind of impact that has? So the next time Gabby said something, let's look also at Chris Proudfoot. Look at how his mother talks about Seth and Sebastian. The hatred that she expresses for this missing child. Do you think that Chris complained to her about Sebastian? What do you think she said? Judging by how she talks now, it wasn't very good. Did he tell her that he beat Sebastian? And was she okay with it? It seems Chris lives in this very, very narrow-minded world where everything his mommy says is probably okay to him and justified. As long as his mommy is okay with it, everything he does is alright. That's how he got his confidence. As long as he does is okay with his mother, nobody can tell him anything. It doesn't matter. He's going on lives. He's talking about, he's fighting a custody case for his daughter, and he tells the whole world, whack, he beat Sebastian. Imagine that. Imagine that. That whole family. There's something very, very wrong with that entire Proudfoot Bowersox family, except the few kids, the children who got away, like Terry Bowersox Jr., who said Chris Proudfoot is a piece of trash and very capable of hurting children. He is very capable of hurting children for sure. And the name Melissa came up when about a comment about Nina, right? That's at least what I've gotten out of it. So I am tuning into Sweetie Pie Low and so far not really anybody else, because it helps me get an idea of the surrounding evidence and what points into which direction. Because I have overlooked this statement for a little bit, simply because Katie gave her interviews, and that was the first time in a very long time that Katie has not only spoken, but has spoken more than ever before, because she was always looking at Chris to speak. She was hiding behind Chris and his confidence. And I mentioned also in Chris Watts' case that Shannon had an argument or disagreement with his mother. What did his mother say? People tell me these are taboo topics and you don't know what they said. Well, it's interesting to me because I want to find answers. I want to find answers about how a difficult situation can escalate further and further. What can we learn from all these cases? It wasn't that these people get in a relationship and the murders happen right away. How did it all start? What contributed to it? How could it have been avoided? I'm pretty sure in every single case, had the mummies been, a little bit different, maybe it would have been avoided. If the mum would have said, be patient with Sebastian, be patient with your wife, be patient with your girlfriend, she's right, she has her points, you cannot try to control these people, you have to be loving, understanding, and life, whatever life lessons most mothers, I think, teach their sons. But you see, in cases like these, it's very different. Blame shifting is not my intention. Understanding, and if it happens to hit somebody who is partially responsible, then so be it. This is all my opinion, and I'm doing my best to explain to you how I have formed it. So, Melissa Nicole Proudfoot Svensson made a very strong, strange statement. Case closing. That's now my additional name for my channel. And intention detection is what I'm interested in, because I don't only want to detect deception. I want to detect intention in general, be it the intention to deceive or real intentions to help solve a case or to find Sebastian. And we need to approach every single statement with the assumption they're telling us the truth, but we allow them to talk us out of it. So This statement, as many of you have pointed out, is extremely strange. It reads very strange, and it sounds like kind of like nonchalant, one of you guys said, and you're absolutely right. Like, hey everyone. Not like attention or please help. Where is please help? Please help us find this boy. Now, she doesn't mention Sebastian in this, but it could be actually a reply to maybe a flyer or something where she feels the need to comment. The question is, why does she feel the need to comment on this? Why? What is her intention here? Hey everyone, greetings, how's going, what's up? This is my nephew. He is high functioning verbal autistic. So she feels, before she begins, to let us know as a priority that he's autistic. Later she goes into, well, I get to this. He is autistic, okay. Why does she need to tell us that? Because she wants to convince us of the following, which is now the priority. He walked out of the house. So before I continue, you have to accept this as a fact. How do they know that? I thought the window was open. And I thought Katie Proudfoot was asleep at midnight. Somebody could have come in, right? Well, the door was locked. Oh, okay. How did he walk out of the house or out of the door if it was supposedly the window? That makes absolutely no sense. But she is immediately introducing you to a narrative. She doesn't even tell you what he's wearing. As a matter of fact, throughout the entire statement, she never once mentioned what Sebastian was wearing. Isn't that strange? Now the second priority one of you guys also said, when I asked what strikes you as strange, everything. What doesn't? Looking at this, my worry in the beginning was I'm going to have to underline most of this because it is one red flag after the other. That is her second priority. Well, her first priority is he's autistic, but actually I don't make this the first priority because that is a build-up to why it should be plausible that he would just walk out of the house. Why? Oh, he's not all there. That's basically the suggestion here. That's why she's building up towards point number one. He walked out the door, out of the house, which he did not. He would have been caught on some camera. He did not walk out of the house. Second priority, in the middle of the night. The thud occurred at 10 p.m. The same timeline that Katie Proudfoot uses again and again between midnight and 6 because I was asleep. I didn't know anything. She said she went to sleep. Then she said everything was okay. Why? How do you know? How do you know when you were asleep, Katie? How do you know everything was fine? Really? How do you know? We notice your need to tell us everything was okay because that indicates nothing was okay. It was a normal night, it was a calm night. When she was asked, was there an argument, did anything happen? It was a normal night. Listen, when somebody says it was a day like every other day, or it was just a regular day, that is the red flag to let us know something was extremely off. It was nothing like a normal day. The need for them to convince us of that and introduce a day as normal is what has to be flagged. That's when we need to pay attention. Say, okay, let's see what else is there. Let's see what's off. Let's see where they skip something. Let's see what they leave out. Let's see where they contradict themselves or where there are similar red flags. Let's look at the timeline where they skip something. For example, when somebody says, next thing I know, when you skip over time, that's what it indicates when somebody says, next thing I know. Not, we did this, then we went there, then we went there, then he said that. A natural flow of memory doesn't include next thing I knew. It means that somebody is intentionally being skipped. And I don't care if you guys ever used it or if I ever used it, because sometime maybe in school or at work, we didn't want to tell on somebody or something, and it's interesting to self-examine to me as well. I like to look at my old emails, my old conversations between people who I know now were deceptive and those who were always honest, and what the difference is, and reapply statement analysis even to my own statements. I love doing that because it can teach you a lot about your own patterns, and then you can see, how did I develop these patterns? Oh, and then many times you go back into your childhood and realize, wow, I used it first here because I got in trouble there. So we can never say, well, that's just something people say. Yes, I agree, a lot of people say a lot of different things, but guess what? There is a reason for everything. Every single thing. And when people tell me, well, this is just a southern slang, to bulldoze somebody with hugs. And a bunch of people replied and said, dude, I'm from the South and I never heard or used this term. Even if it was a term that's often used, there are too many terms available to you. Which one of these terms you pick is often the closest to what experiential memory holds dear. As close to the truth as possible saves energy. Not having to remember something that is so far-fetched that maybe the next time you will not remember what you actually lied. So it can be by association that having some truth or something that triggers what you have to say to hold on to, because you are so way off the path. I believe there's always the path of truth or the path of reality that we can easily walk. And it doesn't matter if you wake me up in the middle of the night, if you ask me questions, I say it the same way every single time, because I speak from purely experiential memory and knowledge and my own inner view of how I experience something. Nowadays they always say, oh, that's my truth, that's your truth. No. Truth is truth. But the angle from which you saw something that you've experienced, like let's say you had a football game when you were 12 years old, and you remember it very fondly because you shot a couple goals. But for another person it may have not been that great of a memory or that great of an experience. Whatever stands out to us is what stands out to us from the angle that we viewed something. So when Seth Rogers says Kathy Bowersox was already there when he arrived at the Proudfoot's home this morning, you know what? For now, unless he later says, well, I had a memory lapse and I was stressed out, I actually believe him. I actually believe Seth. I don't believe him when he says that was a trash truck or something like that, or the glasses, when he says the glasses were not Sebastian's. Well, how do you know? Did you hold them? Did they do a DNA test on them? When he gives you second-hand knowledge, I do not take that into consideration, because law enforcement may not have told him the truth, which I suspect extremely highly. But when Seth speaks from first-hand experience, his intention is right. Intention will reveal itself. I believe it. He was gullible in the beginning when he trusted the wrong people, and then he blew up at them. That's how now people are using that against him, and I strongly suggest that the only thing that we can do is not watch anybody who discusses these things and kills time with it, keeping people busy arguing about idiocy. Even if they say, I'm Team Sebastian, use your energy to figure out what happened and stick with it. Don't get sidetracked. Please, people, do not get sidetracked here. You can't. If you want to be good at statement analysis, you don't have that, okay, I'm bored tonight, let me have a beer and listen to whoever is live right now. No, you cannot do that. You see, I was not on the case, and I was not actively analyzing it in the very beginning, even though my analysis immediately came about the thought and everything that I've already explained, until I finally wrote a statement that was a couple months later, an analysis of that of the statements, and then little by little it wound up being what it is today. This is a case that will go down in history, as Chris Proudfoot said, and it will, because it's actually a wonderful training tool. Sad as the situation is, in the middle of the night, now priority number 3. Actually, it could be number 3, 4, and 5. Let's make it 3, 4, and 5. Priority 3, 4, and 5. In the middle of the night, that's the timeline she wants us to accept, with his glasses. Okay. Are those the glasses that were found near Gallatin again? Are they? What did police do with these glasses? Where are they now? Did they do an actual DNA test, or did they dismiss it? Or, you see, people, some of you think the case is closing officially. I do not think so. I do not think that's the case at all. I don't expect it to ever close, to be honest with you, until Chris Proudfoot breaks. And he may not actually, who knows? Maybe his mommy will talk him out of it. You are not going to jail over that boy. Something like that, right? That sounds like something she would probably say, according to the vile statements of hers that I have read. Really nasty statements. Nasty. Not only about Sebastian, but Seth, the grieving father as well. And by the way, JLR, yeah, I was going to take it down, but I will keep it up on X, that vile video of yours. Because my question to myself was always, what type of person would bash the father of a missing child? And with that video, that I'm not going to describe here, other than it involves a SWAT sticker and an action that, yeah, that's you, JLR. So now I have my answer. But anyway, sorry about the sidetracking on this. I've posted it on X, and I leave it on X. I'm not gonna want this dirt to come here to my channel. In the middle of the night with his glasses. The glasses are sensitive. Did somebody throw the glasses out of the window when he was transported? That's my first question here. Maybe to get somebody off track, or just to, I don't know, get rid of the glasses. And by the way, what type of clothing is missing from the house? Do we know that for sure? Can you guys tell me? Can anybody tell me what we know for sure? Because as I've said, this is my entry point. But when as evidence, I'd be more than happy to blast it in my videos and let everybody know. But when there are so many maybes, it's very difficult. That's why I like to tune into Sweetie Pilo's channel, because there I can fill in some gaps because I don't want to speculate unless there's something that aligns with an analysis of mine and the statement that was given already. Then I am on high alert, because then I realize, okay, here may be the answer. Let's see what else I can compare to the deceptive statements that I've already analyzed. And that's how we get the answers little by little. So the glasses are sensitive, in my opinion. Why would she mention the glasses? A small flashlight. Whoever pulled up at that house at around 3 a.m., when you saw flashlights, did somebody that were these flashlights from inside of the house? And did whoever pulled up, did one of them or that person take it with them by accident? So when somebody asks, is anything missing in the house, that you cannot think about anything, right? You cannot think of anything. When did Katie first mention the flashlight, by the way? That is a good question. Right? When? Maybe somebody asked her, or police, or anybody, what is missing? And experiential memory. Oh, yeah. Here's something for sure. Because they're not going to be able to mention something that later the police will find, and then they'll say, so why did you lie about that? They don't want to chance it. Maybe this is the one item that came to mind where she said, oh yeah, okay, they're not going to find this in my house, and it's really missing. So it's easy to remember that. And the no shoes. Again, was he transported out without his shoes? And they later said, oh my God, how are we going to explain that? How are we going to explain that this boy is now missing and none of his shoes are missing? How are we going to explain that he just walked out? So they introduced this very early and said he left with no shoes. Because what they want to do is justify and explain something that makes no sense. What do you mean he walked out? His shoes are here. No, this is preemptive. This is a preemptive strike to tell you guys, hey, listen, first of all, he's autistic. So, yeah, look at him from this angle now. Because she says high-functioning verbal autistic, but she still felt the need to mention that he's autistic. Meaning, whatever I'm going to tell you now, if it sounds strange to you, blame it on this. People don't know who Sebastian is. I still don't. I don't know who Sebastian is. I know a little bit about him, but there's a lot of... I don't know what it's like to be around him, what it's like to have a conversation with him. I have no idea. But when people hear autistic and something coming up is out of the ordinary, they may say, okay, well, yeah, I heard about something like this. I heard about my friend's nephew, and I heard stories. Okay, makes sense. Don't worry about it. I don't care if it makes sense or not, but okay, in this context, yes. What was he wearing? Did he walk naked with glasses and a flashlight? What did he have on? What does he look like? None of this is mentioned. His name, nothing is mentioned here. Nothing that can be helpful. What I'm looking for, any boy with glasses? A lot of people have glasses. And a small flashlight? You mean he would still be holding it 2 days later? Because this is from the 27th. You mean he would still hold a flashlight in his hand? How does that help me? And no shoes. So he would still have no shoes. Okay. No. As I have stated just now, that was a preemptive move. Because everything is still there in that house. Except what isn't, and I don't know what it is. But this is what she This is priority 3, 4, and 5. This is what she wants us to accept before she asks us to help look for him. Or does she? Does she actually get there? We have been searching since 6:30 a.m. yesterday. That is priority number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Priority number 6 is we have been searching. Who is we? And have you been searching? Where have you been searching? How long have you been searching? Since 6:30 a.m. yesterday. I thought the call came in at 6:33 that Chris Proudfoot called law enforcement, right? Wasn't it 6:33 a.m.? So is she now turning back time? Because it seems that the Bauer Saxes and Proudfoots, they love to push forward time when Kathy supposedly arrived there. The concerned Kathy, the step-grandmother. So she wants herself and whoever she considers to be with her, probably the Proudfoots and Bauer Saxes, to look like, to put themselves in a very nice light. We are concerned. Until she says they are searching the 10-mile radius, the 10 miles around his house. Okay, now it's they. What are you doing? You said, since. We have been searching since. Past perfect. We have been searching since. Continues. Continue. That means you're still searching. That's what it suggests. Until you tell us otherwise. Now it's they are searching the 10 miles around. What are you doing? Did you already give up? Hey everybody. Hey everyone, this is my nephew. He's high functioning verbal autistic. Hey everyone. Sounds like an upbeat, kind of nonchalant. Hey, by the way, there is no urgency in this. And what is the purpose? She has not told us yet what the purpose of this post is. Why is she posting this? Well, she has revealed the intention to make us accept that he walked out of the house in the middle of the night with glasses, flashlight, no shoes, and they have been searching. Those are her priorities. She wants to tell you that. A narrative with no evidence attached, to accept it, and you can trust me. I'm one of the good guys because I was a part of the search. She says we. We is very vague. She didn't say I have been searching. We have been. Who is we? We as a family, and you were absent like the others? People make excuses in their mind. People create ways to suggest something without actually saying it, because they can't get themselves to say it at the time, because it's a lie, because there is no participation on her part, no active searching. This all suggests an agenda, a deceptive agenda. Nothing else. That was 2 days, actually the day after Sebastian was reported missing. And she seems to have a lot of details, long before Katie mentioned the flashlight in an interview and no. So, yeah, they found glasses. I want to know what happened to these glasses. I want to know for sure. Is Seth repeating what he was told? I don't rely on law enforcement in this case at all, to be honest, people. At all. And especially not the media. They're inviting this PI all over the place. He's suddenly a hero because the media doesn't care that this is already, there's nothing to... And he lied to me, by the way, directly on X and contradicted himself. I posted this before. It was a few months ago. A blatant lie, a blatant contradiction. So sometimes people think, well, it cannot be, he's a PI, no. This guy, he is what people say about him. I just don't want to spend too much time on him. other than a statement he made which indicates he actually believes the Proudfoots, one of them did it, and both of them need to go scot-free. Both of them are in danger of going away, and he wants to prevent it. That would be the best thing. Then, because he's close to them, then I'm interested. Then I want to see, what does the guy really think? Okay, I got it now. So people say, oh, he's stupid, he's not. No, he's not. He is not. I don't know if he's the smartest guy in the world, but he knows how to deceive people. And he knows how to sidetrack. And he also knows how to agitate you enough to where you talk about him so much that people forget what this case is even about. And suddenly somebody makes up a rumor, and then you believe it too, and then you believe, and then, oh, they say, no, never mind, this is not true, and now you listen to the new rumor, and all. I have never seen a case that, I have never seen that, I have never. And JLR is not the worst, by the way. And I like his interview with Bonnie, the neighbor. And you see, if you go into these circles of people who use the Team Sebastian label in order to promote themselves, you may actually get the idea there's something wrong with Bonnie, which isn't. They make accusations towards her. Why? I don't know. Because they want to sell you a different scenario, which helps them and their own narrative of what happened. They don't want you to find the truth. What are they going to do when the case is over with? They don't want the case to be over with. They want this to go on forever and ever, because they can keep talking about Seth or about the PI, and it doesn't even matter which side they're on. They keep it going forever and ever, and I don't think they want him to be found. Look at what Crabtree, what allegedly he was in the forest pretending to search, and then, I shouldn't have mentioned his name, but you guys probably seen the video, and he said, now I'm going back to my UFO videos, because the PI didn't want anything to do with him anymore after what he allegedly, supposedly was seen doing. Horrible people, horrible. They are searching the 10 miles around his house. Okay, so you're no longer there. You said since, but now you're correcting yourself because you have nothing to do with this anymore. Okay, great. Good to know. But I am worried. What are you worried about? Let's see. Are you worried about Sebastian? Are you worried about what he's going through? You're worried that he may have got in, not the backseat, in backseat. It's the way all of this is written is like a post after a rough night. You make in the morning, feel crappy, never drink again. Oh my God, headache. Thank you, love you guys, please. With no punctuation and nothing. Just like, very, not really dignifying the importance of what she is pretending to say, which is the fact that Sebastian is missing. I'm worried that he may have got in backseat of a car, fell asleep. What a long story. Remember what I said? If it's too long, and that's one thing the PI always does too. He writes long paragraphs. And after you read it, which I almost managed to do once in the beginning, I realized he didn't say anything. And I just wasted a couple of minutes instead of looking at the facts as they present themselves. He may have gotten backseat of a car, fell asleep, and woke up after someone got to their job. Who transported him? How many people was it? And got out of the car. That's a hell of a story, right? That's a hell of a story to spend this much time on. I've written this smaller, but this is about as much as the first part. Hey everyone, wait a minute, let me count this. 1, 2, 3. $49 at first. Okay, 49 versus 30. Well, I was off. But now deduct the first sentence. And it's pretty similar, but it's 30 words. 30 words for that story. And 49 before all of that. Wow. That makes this a priority to her. This narrative, that there is absolutely no basis for, absolutely no evidence pointing towards this. And you know what she is doing? I don't know how much Katie Proudfoot has talked. They have talked, of course. Chris and they have talked. This sounds like a story that Katie Proudfoot would make up. Because, you know, remember one of my last videos? Different examples. All of the stories have in common that in order for you to believe them, you need to accept a previous narrative. He walked out of the house. When Chris Proudfoot said, the $1 million question is, why did he walk out of the house? Let me think about that. Let's focus on that. And by the way, a lot of so-called experts and a lot of people who actually I've learned from quite a bit in the past, so I guess they are experts in some ways, they fell for that and they talked about, no, it's not why, it's where is he? And from there they spent a lot of time focusing on Chris Proudfoot. But it is a storytelling around a false narrative that Katie Proudfoot is good at creating. She is a fabricator of realities. And that appears to be something that is very easy for sociopaths to create something, not only lie, but much rather not lie, however, well, or lie, but build around the lie and turn it into a huge scenario that keeps people busy thinking about it, sidetracking. Where people imagine, okay, maybe he did this, maybe he's, and by the way, 10 miles. Is she trying to keep people from looking within the 10-mile radius and what happened there? Don't look here. Look over there. Like Chris would say. Look everywhere. But don't look at us. And don't dare come to my house with a search dog. And don't dare, how he told the canine handler. Or Cassie Bowersucks especially. Threatening language. If you come near my house. As if Jules would go on the property uninvited. Their house, and there are many sensitive areas. The truck, what's the name of the street? Worsham? Very sensitive areas I have to look at in more detail, because everything that Chris Proudfoot tells you he cannot talk about. Believe me, people, this is what we want to look at. This whole thing is a story this is by Melissa, but I don't know if she came up with that. Because this looks a lot like Katie's style. When Katie tells you a long story It is sidetracking, and it includes a false narrative that in order for you to be able to follow and suffer through it and listen through it, you need to accept that's the basis. The false narrative needs to be implanted inside your mind. And I don't know if she learned this in special training in military or wherever, or if she's just that intuitive and that capable. But this is high-end stuff she's doing. She's not just lying to you, but she keeps your mind occupied, circling around this false narrative, but actually looking into possibilities where you are forced to accept the narrative that he walked out of the house, which he did not. That is a very sociopathic trait, in my opinion. I'm worried that he may have gotten backseat of a car, fell asleep. See, different things. He got in the backseat of the car, he fell asleep, he woke up after someone got to their job, and then he got out of the car. There's 5 different things, 5 different scenarios she includes and crams into this one sentence. This almost sounds like Katie, who, when she talks from script, she would say things very fast and cram it all in there to get it over with, except this was in writing, but it could have been authored by Katie Proudfoot. This does not sound too much like this could have been. I don't know, but it could have also been born of conversations. Hey, tell them this, tell them that. I don't know, these are just possibilities, but this matches the style of Katie Proudfoot. It's possible. No, it's not. Not in this case. She's generalizing possibilities. It's possible. She's not saying, I think this is what happened. She doesn't say, this is probably what happened in this case, or I think this is what happened. She doesn't say that. She said it's possible for somebody to do that. It's possible really. How often does that take place? Somebody gets into the backseat of a car. That happens to be unlocked. Falls asleep, okay. And wakes up after somebody goes to the job. Doesn't wake up during the ride. The person doesn't see them in the car. How plausible is this scenario? How possible is that? Not locked. He doesn't wake up until after they get to their job. Their job. Someone. One person. Plural, their job. It's possible. She feels the need, of course, to tell us that it's possible. Because in this case it isn't. And that's why she generalizes it and doesn't pinpoint anything. This could have happened. Or it's possible means think outside of the box. That's what she's about to tell us. I don't care how crazy it sounds. Just accept it as a possibility. The same way Katie Proudfoot says, confirm. If it's possible, it needs to be confirmed. She wants the confirmation of the tape, not what happened on the tape and who is in the tape and what it means in the case of Sebastian. She wants somebody to say it's possible, so she can throw out possibilities and play with people's minds and say, well, it's possible. Who are you to dismiss? Give me evidence it wasn't the case. You see, throwing out something that is so unlikely, and in this case, because he didn't walk out of the house, it is impossible. She's trying to sell you a scenario as a possibility. So whenever you read something like that and you say there's something off, but I don't know, maybe you see, and it took me a while to get to this, a long while, because again I thought One moment, please. I'll be back in 20 seconds. Had to get some water. Too much talking. I'm not used to talking that much. Because in real life I don't have that many people interested in this. They are searching the 10-mile radius around the house. Don't search in the 10 miles. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about all of the... Don't worry about our house. Do not... No. Go out there. He's probably within... By the way, how far away do you live from your job? 10 miles is quite a bit, right? I don't know how far did I used to drive. Well, yeah, I had jobs further than that at times, but don't touch anything within this area, anything close to our homes, be it the Bowersoxes or the Proudfoots, or don't look here. Go out there. He's out there. That's also what Katie... Does that mean he could be somewhere very close? But by the way, if you guys say something about... I know who you are. You know who you are, about the pig comment, right? Please tell me where and when Chris supposedly said it. By the way, there are quite a few trolls who suggest something and claim Chris said something, but he didn't. Because they want to discredit people like me. They want me to go out there and mention something and say it as a fact, and then somebody will come in and say, dude, you have wrong information, bro, and you need to get your act together because you never said it. So I'm not falling for that, people. Please. That's why sometimes even those of you that I trust try to point me into the direction. I need to myself hear it or read it in order for me to use it in my premieres. And does it mean they gotten rid of him somewhere close to home? That could mean that. That could mean that something is very close to home that cannot be looked at. Or is it the smell of the car to the dogs? Do they want the dogs away from their properties? You see, this is something, and by the way, were the Bowersoxes already on their way to Alaska at this time? These are questions that need to be asked until we have definite answers, and we have zero, which is why I don't see this case closing officially, because law enforcement either they pretend or they really are tapping in the dark. I think they're tapping in the dark. I think the first 3 days they didn't really... I think Katie was very convincing with them. I think Katie was able to just make them believe, my autistic son, look what he did again, I'm going crazy, what happened? Oh my, who knows what kind of act she put on. And maybe the cops were gullible enough to just go, okay, yes ma'am. Oh my gosh, we'll find him, don't worry. You know what I mean? So I hope I didn't go too slow, and I hope I didn't go too fast, people. I love the replies I've gotten so far, and please keep them going. If you ever think I missed something, oh my gosh, do not hesitate to point it out. Do not hesitate. And as I say, in the Sweetie Pie load, I loved the live chat, and it was great to be... I felt home, just like my chat here with you guys. I love to hear from you. What have you found out? What do you distrust that law enforcement puts out there? What do you believe that said, and what do you think is him only repeating false information he gotten elsewhere? I'm super interested in that, people. And thank you also for coming from the channel over to me, the people who have just joined. That's why I'm mentioning her quite a bit. So It is very important for me to keep this chat clean. And if you're a moderator listening, if anything just gives you bad energy, get rid of people. Do not hesitate. I do not want this to be anything except productive. Goal-oriented. What did Melissa have to do? Was it simply guilty knowledge? Well, this indicates knowledge. This indicates either knowledge or strong suspicion, feeling a need to cover something up. Or it is actually not even written by her, either in full or in part. She didn't tell at the time. Katie didn't tell. When did she start telling about the flashlights? You see, it's possible. That's all they want, to throw out things and say it's possible. Don't dismiss. You cannot dismiss it because it could be. So it's taking space in your head that you don't use to look at the very obvious, that no camera caught him. No camera caught this boy. Nothing. There was nothing. Oh, there's a possibility. Here's a tape. We want to confirm it is a possibility so you can stay sidetracked. The truth is very obvious in this case, extremely obvious. Doesn't mean law enforcement knows how to proceed, and I don't know what the TBI is doing. I don't know what's going on in Somerville's case, because Hunter gave us a good, solid lead about drug dealer he named Andy, and the 17 messages ending with "it's done." I have talked about this in a previous video of mine, and I think I know exactly what happened. But TBI doesn't, I don't know. Maybe they don't like those types of people. They had problems with them before and just say, ugh, don't want to deal with this. I don't know. I have no idea. But these possibilities are more likely to me than thinking that they are on it and cannot tell you. Which, they told us. Or this one detective, he said, no, we don't tell the Proudfoots what they can say and what they can't say. Very convenient. When Chris says I cannot talk about something, look at it. And if you see anything else, please point it out to me, guys. I will move things to this channel away from X. X is I don't know what people are doing there. Of course I stay on X because the two Laurens are there, and something great is coming up, by the way. A side by side of Chris Watts and Katie Proudfoot saying almost the exact same thing, almost the same body language, and it's gonna, I hope I'm waiting for her, I'm relying on her here. So all I can say is that I will post it immediately on this channel when I get it. And I think it'll blow you guys away. I'm trying to think outside the box. There we go. It means if you're not, you're close-minded. If you dismiss this possibility, this is completely horse nonsense, then you are a close-minded person. To help find him. She's the good person, once again. Why does she need to explain it? That she wants to help find him? Because she's not. I'm thinking outside the box. I want to help find him. I want to find him would be a lot better, right? But if you don't accept the possibility, you're not here to help. Katie Proudfoot said that in a different written statement, that unless you're law enforcement or professional detective, she doesn't want your help. Really, you don't want the help of the whole public? You're pushing people away. What mother of a missing child is doing that? Even if they thought law enforcement was on it, they still say, somebody out there, please find my son for me, help me. But if you don't accept complete nonsense, something's wrong with you, not with me. This sounds so much like Katie. See, it's only my opinion, and I don't have any evidence that she co-wrote it or anything like this, but I'm just pointing out what I see. I don't know where it will lead us, but this is what I see. Now, listen to this one, the final statement. Ugh. Ugh. She's suffering, right? Why is she suffering? Is she suffering because Sebastian may be suffering? Is she suffering for her nephew, who's her step-nephew, but nephew sounds better in this context? It sounds more close to the heart, which he wasn't. Sebastian was not close to the hearts of the Proudfoots or the Bauer-Saxes. Absolutely not. Why are they pretending? Why are they suddenly... Did she refer to him as her nephew before? And what was the story about Nina, about running... something like that. Feel free to clue me in, and everybody else watching here. Because more than anything, I want to create a community where people can actually safely examine the evidence without anybody sidetracking and without anybody coming in and saying, dude, like Seth did the same thing, bro. That's normally all they got. I want more than anything to build a community around this, because I'm only one person, and many of you have information and have listened to the lives with the purpose of picking out the statements that are significant, which I have a hard time doing that without getting sidetracked. Very hard time. I rather jump on something that's already right there, because it is not beneficial for me, and for many analysts it's also not that beneficial. As you see, this is a fairly short statement, and at first sight I'm always thinking like, is this enough for a video? And then I'm realizing it's more than enough for a video, more than enough. Even one or two sentences can give the whole case away when analyzed properly. The problem is finding the right statements when you have hours and hours and hours of just talk. And this is a good one, people. That is why it stuck out to you as strange from the very beginning. I'm trying. You see, she's trying. You're not trying. Because she knows people look at the story and say, what the hell is this? Why would you come up with so many words for a scenario that is so far-fetched? I'm just trying to think outside the box. To help find him. To help find him. Forgive me, I'm just trying. Playing innocent. That's been the Proudfoot theme. Playing innocent. I'm just trying to help. Nothing is strange. Look, he's autistic. So you need to accept the strangeness, and then you need to also accept me and my innocence. Ugh. Suffering. It's just so hard. What is so hard? Where's your worry about Sebastian? Have you asked us to help you yet? No, you said you want to help find him. That's why we need to accept what you said as thinking outside of the box, which you're trying to do. So if I doubt anything, or if I dismiss it, I can't, because I'm not trying. I'm not a part of the good team that has been searching, except they have stopped. And from what I see, never started. Actually, she has never said, I have been searching. She never tells us what she did. A very broad we. Okay, guys. Okay, so it's just so hard. You never know This is the negative of you know. When somebody says you know, it means what I'm about to say, you need to accept. You know. Come on, you know, right? You know, dude. You know how these people are. You know, when I go to work, how they mess everything up, and then I have to come in and fix it. You know. So it's sort of a way of integrating you and making you a part of the, making you feel like an extended part of the family. Appealing to mothers out there. That's what Katie Proudfoot does a lot. That is her style. So hard, you never know. The negative of you know. How kids think. Very general. She wants to appeal now to all of you and have you think about, oh my gosh, my son, what he did last week. Yeah. What was going through his mind? I have no idea. She wants her story to be relatable to all of you because she's talking to you, the audience. She wants to convince you, the audience, and she still has not asked you for help, which should have been #1 priority. What he was wearing, how can you recognize him? His name is Sebastian, yell his name. He's extremely thin. Yes, he has glasses. Okay. Please help find him. Not just outside of the 10-mile radius. Search within it. They are searching the 10-mile. 10-mile radius is a lot. There are so many houses, so many yards. That'll keep you. Who says he isn't in the 10-mile radius? You are saying it. You're suggesting it. And so if he got out of the car somewhere far away, what do you want to do? Have you appealed to the people yet? Have you said, everybody please keep an eye out, describe him more closely. No, you're giving us a long story, stretch it out, which is usually an indicator that something is off. Especially when they're trying to convince us and say, it's possible. I'm trying to think about the outside the box to help find him. That's trying to convince us that we need to accept it as a possibility. And she made it so long, she wants us to take this she wants us to think about this and at the whole time accept as a fact that he walked out of the house, which he did not. All of this is a fabrication of reality. You never know how kids think. Now finally, what's she saying? Please keep a lookout, thanks. That is her last priority. Keeping a lookout. Extreme distancing language between hey everybody, hey everyone, please keep a lookout. Or please look for Sebastian. How about that? Wouldn't that sound a little bit more important? It's always what they're not saying. And it's also what they're minimizing, what they're watering down. The importance of this. This was the day after he was reported missing. And nobody would have expected this to go on for a year without any results. What you would expect is urgency. Find him. We need to find him now. He could get hurt. He could go with a stranger. He is in danger. Not. By the way, last thing. Keep a lookout, okay? Thanks. She wants to be of ingratiation. She's thanking you before you've done anything. Whenever people can thank also law enforcement and people for their efforts, but when it's too much, without any results, and the person is not having been found yet. Or when somebody calls 911. Hi, hello, how are you? Is this the police? People are expected to go crazy in this situation. Expected to. My son is missing. His name is Not hi. Is this police? How are you? All of these things need to be noticed. And in this particular statement, this whole part, he may have got in backseat until help find him. That whole thing should be circled and flagged. That whole thing, that whole fabrication, which is a fabrication because he couldn't have walked outside of the house, which is the most obvious thing. Similar to the Chris Watts story. And they didn't walk out. No camera caught them. They were transported out. So what were the lights at 3 a.m.? Did the person pulling up, or one of the people pulling up, remove the flashlight? Did they forget to take the shoes when they gotten rid of him? Did the glasses get thrown out on purpose, or did the glasses fall off? Was he being transported and somewhere they realized he doesn't have his glasses? Look for the glasses. He must have lost them. So we emphasize that he left with the glasses. He must have taken them. It doesn't matter what he wore. It doesn't matter how you can recognize them. What matters is that you accept as fact that he left, he walked out on his own. He's the bad guy because that's what he did. Oh, you don't think he would do it? No, he's autistic. The timeline they want to accept in the middle of the night, with his glasses, a small flashlight and no shoes. Did Katie write this for her? Did Katie sit? I don't have no evidence of that. What I can tell you is that it's very similar to her style. And there's a sociopathic nature to this ability to create a whole story in support of a lie. And I don't know what Melissa Nicole Proudfoot Svensson normally writes like, but I actually will look that up. Maybe she has a Facebook page where I can see what types of words she usually uses. And if you guys have a insight about what allegedly happened or she said about Nina, how else she could be involved, I'll be very interested in hearing about this. My name is Mike the Man. I am calling my channel Case Closing. Intention detection is what I do. Statement analysis is the one thing that I consider to be the best indicator in terms of opening our eyes into the direction that will lead us to solving a case. Thank you for watching.